Baby, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of college basketball. He's in pro and college basketball halls of fame, Dick Vitale.
Yay!
How you doing, Dick?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Pat. 45 years I've completed at ESPN. 45, wow. Okay?
Okay.
I am honored. I finally got a call from Pat McAfee to be on his unbelievable show, man. That's incredible.
Dickie, we would have had you on day one if we knew this was even possible. The fact that you have blessed us with your presence, especially during March Madness, we are grateful for, especially with everything you've been through over the last few years. You're inspirational. You're a badass. And we appreciate the hell out of your commitment to sport for all of our entertainment for over the better half for 5 decades.
You guys there. I'm talking to all you football, unbelievable fanatics, football guys talking basketball. I think it hurts you guys talking hoops. No. I think you'd rather talk football.
Whoa. No, that is valid. Yes, that is certainly true. But there are times where basketball takes over the zeitgeist, and this is certainly one of them. We just talked to Cal. Obviously, Arkansas is like the underdog Cinderella story this year. Calipari is the team that everybody's pulling for to go on a run with all the high-ranking teams surviving. What is your takeaway on this year's March Madness, Dickie V? How should we be viewing this?
You know, Pat, it's chalk city. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, 13 of the teams there. I've been to the Final Four. You got 8 of them that have already won national titles. So it's all chalk city, and it's all due. You know why? The NIL, man. The schools that are paying big-time cash. It's all about that, and we got chaos going on. I'll share this with you, Pat, and you and your guys. They just opened up the transfer portal, which I think is a joke. I think it's absurd to have the transfer portal during the heart of March Madness. I think that's crazy. It's ludicrous. You ready for this? Only one day, about 1,000 kids are in the portal.
Jeez.
1,000. Yeah. It is total wacky what's going on. Because the question is, right away, the question is very simple. When the kids talk to some coach about transfer, what about my cash, man? How much am I getting?
Yeah.
Did you ever think you'd see this path going on? It's a better free agency than the pros have, because in this case, you're free. At least in the pros, you got a contract.
Yeah.
I think they got to think about a contract. I think they think about, the kids deserve money. I have no problem with that. But the bottom line is this chaotic movement, no stability.
Yeah, it's happening in football too, Diggy V. Obviously, we're seeing that. They had a transfer portal in the middle of the playoffs, transfer window in the middle of the playoffs as well. And there was actually players that were in the playoff, 12-team playoff. This is what you work for. There was players in the playoff that were like, I'm leaving. It's like, how is this what's right? I think they're going to figure that out, though. How much of the chatter has been done for college hoops? Like college football, obviously, we live in that all fall. We got a ruling coming this month or whatever on what the future is going to look like for rev share. We did a lot of that with football talk. How much of that's happening in college basketball, you think? And is there guardrails on the horizon for how it's all run?
Well, I just tell you this, Pat. I just think that there's so much chaos. It's the Wild West in intercollegiate sports. It really is. And I just think that somewhere there's no rules and regulations. There's none. Zero. Do what you want. Do anything you want. And the big schools, I'll tell you what else is happening. You don't see any Cinderellas. You're not going to see many Cinderellas anymore, because it's all the schools that can pay the big dollars. The SEC has 7 teams in the Final Four. Why? Because the SEC has gotten with the times. The ACC hasn't gotten with the times. So they got one team, Duke. Duke gets it. Duke has the dollars. They have the unbelievable talent level. But I'm telling you, Pat, something's got to be done, because you hate to see the little guy rubbed out. The other problem with it, with the transfer portal, if you're a good player, I'm going to make Pat McAfee dream he's a jump shooter, dream he's an incredible player, and you're at some mid-American school. You're at Miami. Handle that rock, man. A good left hand. I like that left hand. He dives up. Don't look at the ball. Don't look at the ball.
Head up.
What are you talking about?
And you're at a mid-American school.
What?
And all of a sudden, you're playing really well. You know what happens? You're gone. Just like a little brick right there, but you're gone.
That's an air ball, Dickie, even worse.
You're absolutely gone to another school. So they're taking all the stars away that develop from the mid-American schools, from the actual the mid-major schools.
Yeah, so that's going to take away. You just got to hope that a team is able to build, and everybody stay true. And hopefully the madness will remain in the March tournament, because Calipari being the underdog Cinderella story is certainly something out there at Arkansas. But they're one of those SEC teams you talked about. Greg Sankey came on the show and was like, hey, we told the schools our men's basketball has to get better. So they did a concerted effort to invest in it. And to your point, it has worked for them. Well, everybody else, we shall see. D-Bud has a question for you, Dickie.
Yes, sir. Dickie V, first of all, absolute honor. I'm a UConn Husky, and you've called some of our biggest games, some of our national championships, so an honor. But you being on the air for so long and being iconic on the mic, I want to know, how did some of these your most iconic sayings come about? Were they practiced in the mirror the night before, or they just come out live, PTP or Diaper Dandy? Like, when did these come about? How did they come about?
You know what? Really, I steal a lot of it, man. I steal from people. People write me little notes, letters, suggestions. I use them. I get credit. Now, to be serious, it's just, I always, when I started on TV, I make believe I'm talking to my buddies at home. And I just talk from my heart. You guys do that. You talk from your heart. That's why you connect so well with everybody, because you're regular. You're down there shooting the breeze. I've never looked at the red light where the red light has intimidated me. And I've always had fun doing it. The only thing that's intimidated me is having 5 major vocal cord cancer surgeries and all that stuff. Pat, I'd like to get a little help here. I'm trying to raise money for kids battling cancer, Pat. It means so much to me, especially after what I went through. I want you to know this is the first live interview I've done in 3 years. Doctors have put me on unbelievable voice rest. Like I said, I had 5 major vocal cord surgeries, and I'm just honored and thrilled and always moved to tears that I'm even talking, because about a year ago, I went 8 weeks. I couldn't talk, not one word, write everything down. And so I made that recovery. But going through what I went through, I can't imagine a mom and dad with little kids going through what I'm 85 years old, man. I got the energy of a 20-year-old, but I'm 85. And I'll tell you this, Pat, no child should ever go through what I did in terms of the scans, the blood work, constant, always to the doctor's office, doing chemo 6 months. I did radiation, 65 treatments. No child should do that. So my goal is to raise money through the V Foundation for kids battling cancer. So far, Pat, I'm so proud of this. Probably in my whole career, I'm in, I don't know, multiple Hall of Fames and all that jazz. But my real part of me is so excited about to tell you this. We have raised my gala $92.8 million.
Let's go. Let's go.
And this year, we're going to go over the 100 million mark, because we're honoring people like Mike Strahan, we're honoring people like Grant Hill, and all these stars, and with Calipari. And we have a great event. There it is right there. We have a great event. It's held down in Sarasota, the Ritz-Carlton. Anybody wants information, they call 941-350-0580. But the best thing they can do is donate. Donate at Dick. All you got to do is go to dickvitale.com. It's as simple as can be. dickvitale.com. You can donate. It goes to the V Foundation, and you might save someone you love. I get passionate about this because I've been, Pat, I spoke at several funerals for kids, and it just tears my heart out.
Yeah.
Here's my heart out.
Yeah, and it's not just the kids. Obviously, it's the entire family, the anxiety alongside all of the appointments. We're honored that this is the first interview you've done in 3 years and thankful for it, and also inspired by your mission. I will obviously donate and help out with the gala. We will continue to promote your mission to helping out families of kids battling through cancer. And let's talk about the vocal cord surgery. So they told you no talking. So I've thought about this before as somebody who is a professional speaker. I'll lose my voice at the end of like football season. I'll go through it. I won't have my voice. I won't know, like, that's my biggest fear whenever we're on a microphone, is that I'll have something and I have no idea if it's gonna make any sound. I have no idea if my voice is gonna be able to create it because I'm hoarse, I've been yelling, and I'm a very loud person to begin with. But for you, I assume you've gone through times of going hoarse and losing your voice. When you're told you can't speak as a professional orator, I mean, what is the initial reaction? And that had to be, mentally, that had to be very difficult.
You know what, Pat? I was telling my friend the other day, I go do a game, like I recently did 7 games, and I was so glad to do them. It was like the best medicine in the world. But it's so difficult when you're going to do a game and you're in my position because of my vocal cord problems. Instead of thinking about the strategy of the games and all, I'm thinking about what happens if my voice breaks down right now during the middle of the game. And I shouldn't be thinking like that, but the bottom line is that's what you live with. And the strategy I could do in my sleep. Talking basketball, people write, oh, my God, he hasn't missed a beat. Well, just like you talking football or whatever, I could talk that basketball in my sleep. And to say this before I wrap up here, my Final Four are still alive. Michigan State and Florida. I'm looking at a board here in my house. Michigan State, Florida, South and West in one semifinal, Duke and Houston in the other. When it's all said and done, Duke and Florida. And when it's said to cut the nets down, and they're going to scream and yell, I get this all the time, and I laugh about it. They'll say, Dookie Vitale, not Dickie Vitale. He loves Duke. Well, what's there not to like about him? You know this, Pat? Think about why they're good. They're the only team in the nation, the only team that is in a situation where there's the draw, the only team that is in a situation where they're top 5 in the nation offensively and defensively efficiency. Well, when you excel in both those areas, you got a chance to win.